Hi guys, reporting in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. So I'm gonna talk about this topic that's a little hard to talk about, but I decided I'm gonna do it real quick before before I head out to dinner. So firstly, growing up with autism is not easy. When I grew up living in a household, like, obviously everyone's gonna have issues and all that stuff, and and everything that happened in my childhood, well, not everything, but most things that happened in my childhood definitely could have been avoided to this day, that it could affect me to this day. So and firstly, I wanted to talk about who is your hero, heroine in your life, and why they do it. So apparently, like my mom, and my mom is a really sweet person. Like, don't get me wrong, I have moved on with a lot of people from my life, and we, like, my sisters and my dad and I, like, we don't get along that well to the point like where we were that close. Like don't get me wrong, my sisters, I still love my sisters and my dad and my mom. However, I just don't seem to click with them as much as I used to when I was younger. Like even when I was younger, like my mom was really the only one that I had to look up to, because I didn't have a choice, because I wasn't even an adult. Because like if I never had a mom like that, I probably would have been more miserable than I am to this day. But what's it called? I don't enjoy stuff that I'm going through to this day. Only because I never really had much people growing up. So I'm going to talk about relationships with parents and heroes, heroines, or whatever. Growing up with my parents was a hit or miss for me, if I'm being honest. Don't get me wrong, my mom is the sweetest person that anybody could ever have as a parent, but we have our own issues that we deal with, and I have respect for someone like her, and she did everything on her own, which is amazing. And I'm the same way too, because one, my mom, because as you all remember, my mom is a Roman Catholic. She actually everything that every Catholic that my family has, they were all through her. Like, not even her parents taught her how to do religion and all that stuff. Even though religion is far from for me, I have respect for her, because because even though that's not for me, I have a lot of respect, because she chooses to believe in whatever she wants to believe in. However, I have a different view of religion. As you all know, I'm an atheist. So, and even though it was a little hard on my mom at first, she kind of learned to accept that it's not for me. And although I don't blame her, but at the same time, religion should not be talked about in most cases. But she totally respects every other people's religious choices, and that's really good. That's really good, and I have a lot of respect for people like her. However, one thing that seems slightly intimidating is my mom shows a lot of she shows way too much generous slash what's it called, like not naive type of thing. Like, cause she helps anybody, even if she doesn't like them. And Yeah, and it's not common to have someone like her, and to see that my mom helped out a lot of people, even if they don't like her. That's that's like a true sweetheart right there. But and I'm gonna be honest here, I can't even picture myself doing that because one, I don't believe in babying people, and two, I have a hard time. I have a hard time having certain people in my life. Like example, like for me, like my mom might be a sweet person to be around, but for me, I'm a bit of a anti-hero, as you could say, because as personally, if I had a kid, I probably wouldn't treat them the way that my mom did for me, because I'm a like while I am team oriented, team family oriented, and to see how my mom to see everything that my mom did was kind of heartbreaking because she really didn't have to do everything for those people. And lastly, she really doesn't have to put up with some of the people that start talking to her, and she definitely doesn't have to do everything that she does. But yes, I definitely don't agree with her babying people who live with her and who live with us and all that stuff because sooner or later people are going to show their true colors. And even though they do, my mom still puts up with it. But I'm the type of person that does not have it with a lot of people. And people are really weirded out by it because my personality is a lot more different compared to my mom. The one thing that really threw people off is the fact that I don't put up with people in my life. Like she might do it, but that's good for her. But personally, I'm an anti-hero at heart. I believe that people should be treated however you deserve to feel. Sorry, I just found a seat to sit down. But personally, my mom never really should have to put up with it. I definitely wouldn't put up with it. If I was her age, I probably will instantly, like, if you're someone that I don't really like, I wouldn't associate with you. So my mom is the type of person she's a hero heroine. She's a good / heroine type of person. I'm an anti-hero, kind of like a person who's neither good nor bad, but the person that kind of does their own thing, like benefits themselves from everything, and that's what I'm going to talk about because my mom doesn't care about how much someone is worth. She doesn't think that everybody should have millions of dollars and then she doesn't agree with the whole money thing because she thinks the money is just an object. But in my opinion, I think the wealthier you are, the better you are. Although personality isn't too much of a thing. Although if you want to be wealthy and all that stuff, at least be grateful for it. I'm grateful that if I was wealthy and had millions of dollars or even like up to $1 billion, at least $1 billion, I'd be living a good life. My mom probably would donate that money to third world countries. I, on the other hand, won't, because I feel like I deserve to go on these really nice trips and buy myself a mansion, get nice cars and all that stuff and all of you might disagree with my decisions, but that's I stand to whatever I feel that I want and deserve, and while people think differently of this, and I'm not gonna apologize, because I felt like I've put up with a lot of shit in my life that I feel like I should get the best out of, we all as humans can't please each other, and that's where people do have a problem. Like, like, don't get me wrong, I can react a certain way at times, because I'm known to be short-tempered, but everyone deserves the whatever, however they feel. And in terms of people liking or disliking one another, I know this seems a little bit of a like not so good of a trait of mine, but it is what it is. If I like you, I like you. If I don't like you, I don't like you. And to be honest with you, I don't want to say that I dislike someone to their face, but if someone that I've talked to, like, who I don't really like, example, like let's say there's someone who I was at a bar, and if there's a dude that I really like, obviously I'll click with them just fine. But if it's someone who I don't really like example, like if there's someone that I don't feel like I click with, like example, like if someone who doesn't represent themselves pretty well, I'm not gonna word it, but like let's say some guy was homeless, and it was like, let's say I was sitting at a patio, having a coffee or whatever, and then if he approaches me if he comes at me saying hi, hello, and I'm like, hi, like I honestly like, and if they try to have a conversation with me, it would, like, they should know that if I'm like okay in yourself, like I don't show that interest in certain people, and it's just how it is. And then there was this one incident where someone told me, "God bless you," and I'm like, okay, like don't get me wrong, it's it's good to be polite, but if you put that religious context into greeting me, I'm not gonna take it pretty well, and that's where people need to understand, is like you're like, some people say like, oh, you're dismissive over that, like why should I appreciate something that I don't feel exists, or I want to put up with it, and we as humans deserve to, we all have our wants and needs, although I have way more wants than needs. It's just what it is, we don't, like, as long as what I'm doing is legal, what I'm doing with my life is legal, and we all do something, it doesn't matter what your personality is. Although yes, I can come off as spicy personality. Like I have a spicy personality. So like if you treat me well, I'll treat you well. If you treat me with loyalty, I'm gonna have super respect for you. But if someone's a deliberate asshole, I'm going to be that way to that person, no matter what anybody says. So, but as I said a little bit ago, if I don't like someone, doesn't mean I'm going to be rude. I'm just not going to show as much interest, if that makes sense. But I will discuss more of this in a little bit. So I will see you all soon.